Hello future professionals, welcome to day 17 of our top 100 coding question analysis. Today we are challenged with the question to find the sum of two fractions. Before we start coding, we shall try to understand how the addition operation is performed among fractions. Let's use the pen and paper method to get some clarity. We know that addition of two fractions have two cases, that is case 1 where the denominators are same. Denominators are same wherein there are two fractions a by b and c by b. The resultant would be a plus c by b, right? A practical example would be 3 by 5 plus 4 by 5. We get the result 7 by 5. Next, we have the case 2, which is both fractions have different denominator. Where those two fractions are a by b plus c by d, where the resultant would be a into d plus c into b by b into d, right? A practical example would be 3 by 5 into 4 by 7. We get the answer 3 into 7 is 21, 5 into 4 is 20, and 5 into 7 is 35. We get the resultant as 41 by 35. Now that we have understood the addition process among the fractions, let's start coding. Let's start the program by defining a function to get the user's input. I name the function getUserInput. We shall now get the numerator and denominator of the first fraction using the input method. We ask the user to enter the fraction in the format a by b. Once the user inputs the fraction in the format a by b, then we use the string method split to get the numerator and denominator separately. Now let's get the numerator and denominator of the second fraction in the same method. Let's return the integer data type of all the variables that we have declared. Next, let's define a function to add those fractions. It gets the parameter fractions. Let's now unpack the fractions tuple to n1, d1, n2, d2 variables respectively. Next, we check whether the denominators are same, that is the first condition or the first case. If the denominators are same, then we calculate the resultant numerator by adding the numerator 1 and numerator 2. Then the resultant denominator would be any of the denominator. I assign it as d1. Else, if both the denominators are not same, then we calculate the resultant numerator by multiplying the numerator of the first fraction with the denominator of the second fraction, adding it to the numerator of second fraction multiplied by the denominator of second fraction. Then the resultant denominator would be the denominator of first fraction into the denominator of the second fraction. Let's now print the resultant fraction as resultant numerator divided by resultant denominator. Now that we have defined all the required functions, it's time that we call those functions. Let me call the getUserInput function and store the return value in the fractions variable. Next, let me call the addFraction function and pass the argument as fractions. Let us check for any errors or warning signals. There are no warning signals or errors. Let's run the program. The program is asking me to enter the fraction in the format a by b. Let me enter the values as we did in the first case. We get the resultant as 7 by 5. Let's rerun the program and run for the second case. Let me input the fractions as we did in the second case. We get the resultant fraction as 41 by 35. Thus, we have successfully completed our program. I hope you would have got the best out of this video. I recommend you subscribing our channel to get more such interesting videos. I also recommend you to like and share the video if you find it helpful and supportive.